What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Borderlands 4 is going to be announced at Summer Games Fest. Now, honestly, this is probably a video I was going to make regardless. It does make sense. Things do line up, and we'll talk about that as this video goes. But we actually got a direct statement from Summer Games Fest, so from that side, not necessarily 2K, although maybe it was said there as well. And here's the tweet. 2K plans to reveal the next iteration in one of 2K's biggest and most beloved franchises at Summer Game Fest on Friday, June 7th. And that's it. That's your tweet. Now, honestly, I'll be real. My mind immediately went to Bioshock or Mafia. Those are the two that I want the most. I mean, that's just a biasness of me. It's my preferred franchises. I mean, I want all of them, and I will absolutely take a Borderlands 4, but that's just where my mind went. And then I was reminded, hey, well, what about Borderlands? And it's like, oh, shoot. I kind of forgot. Because, there's been a lot of sales and Gearbox being owned by Embracer and then being sold off or sold, I think, back, right, to Take-Two. So it's kind of just gone all over the place. But yes, that is true. So when you think of, you can't just think of Mafia and Bioshock, I guess is what I'm getting at, right? When you hear big franchise and you hear a 2K thing, you can't just go to them. Would I want them? Yes. Is it a guarantee it's Borderlands? No. But you have that tweet. And, I mean, okay, you can look at it actually one by one. And I think you'll land on Borderlands plus all of the rumors of Borderlands 4 that we've already gotten, right? So you look at, say, Bioshock. Bioshock is just kind of depressing. I just don't think that game is still, and this is just so sad, anywhere near close to releasing, right? They announced, I believe, in January of 2019. It's been 5.5 years since they announced that game was in development. It's nowhere near close from all the signs that we've seen. I've tried to cover it at every turn, that I'm able to. It seems like that game is still probably 3, 4, 5 years away. It's probably had to be restarted multiple times in the studio. So Bioshock, I honestly feel, is eliminated just out of sadness and depression that, it's just not going to happen, at least for a while. Mafia, see, what's tough about it is Mafia, I feel like, is announced as well as Borderlands, but Mafia is announced a little bit more. Mafia literally did have that direct statement, and I think it was like a blog post, or it was from their official website when they celebrated the anniversary of Mafia, and they said point blank, we're making the next game. With Borderlands, it has been said. It just hasn't been said, I think, as clearly as that. Although that's up for debate. Like, you had Randy Pitchford tell IGN, like, hey, you know what we're making. We know what we're making. It's just not time to talk about it. He said that, 2 months ago. It's like, okay, well, obvious. And he was doing it, I believe, in promotion of the Borderlands movie, which is coming out, I believe, in August, right? So it's like, okay, well, what else could he possibly be talking about? Then, when they were sold, which was also not too long ago, right? When Gearbox was sold, the official statement said that they were really, proud or, excited that they've done the Borderlands franchise, and they know that the next iteration is being worked on. Not necessarily, I guess, Borderlands 4. That's the part that nobody's ever said out loud. But it's also been, there's been rumors, I think, multiple, maybe 2+ times. I think maybe a developer once said, maybe it was in one of their, LinkedIn posts or something, or, their profile, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands 2, as well as Borderlands 4. So the titles have been dropped before. Basically, it's been in the works for an okay amount of time. It's been name dropped. It's been loosely talked about. And, I mean, that really finishes, what the rest, I guess, of what I was going to say. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But, could it be Mafia? Mafia and Borderlands are in somewhat of a similar situation. I think Borderlands is closer, and I think, although, again, they've kind of been announced in similar ways, Borderlands feels like the announcement's almost imminent. And when I say announcement, I guess I mean a full-on reveal trailer. They've both been announced, but Mafia, and also, I guess you don't know what the title, Mafia what, right, and Borderlands what, you don't really know, but it's been danced around so much as early or as recently as end of March 28th, I think, was the Randy Pitchford thing. So it's going to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised, also, again, a Jeff Keighley thing, a Summer Games Fest. You think of some of the big games, showstoppers. I guess it depends on how you view Borderlands, but when I think of Summer Games Fest, I can think of, I believe Dragon Age is going to be there, and I think that's a big one. Borderlands 4, maybe one opens the show, one ends the show, maybe a Wolf Among Us 2. There's a couple, but I think Borderlands, it is a big game, regardless of the recent quality. I wasn't a fan of Borderlands 3. I absolutely despise new Tales from the Borderlands, which I don't even know why they did that in the first place. I really was not surprised, pleasantly surprised. I was not at all with that game. So they've got some trust to win back from me. I really, I like Borderlands, and my wife and I actually did play Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and we actually had quite a bit of fun, but I don't know, like, I haven't been so hardcore into it that I feel burned out. I think a lot of the fandom feels kind of burned out by it. I think people generally think the writing specifically has kind of gone down in the last maybe 5 or so years, maybe a little bit more. So there is some winning back that they have to do. But hey, I'd be excited, and I don't know necessarily when it would come out, but it does seem like the reveal. I mean, I would predict it. I think that is the one that makes the most sense. Could it be a game outside of those three? I guess, but I think it's between Mafia and Borderlands, and I just think Borderlands makes the most sense. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.